Okay. I actually going to say that peace be unto you. My message today is going to be direct to my Nigerian brothers and sisters, my daddy and my mommies. I hope today that my message will make you sit back and have some kind of deep thought about the next coming election. You should understand that your vote is a civic duty that you should be sincere with. In sincerity in your vote, I believe there's a lot of things that we can accomplish. And that's just by the way. Reason why I actually want to address you today as a Nigerian is because of the crisis many Nigerians are facing today when it comes to the issue of the Naira note. Some of it are wrong, which I would like to address. Before I go on, there is this thing I really want us to see and understand. In anything that we're doing, we need to think first before we act. When you are trying to show how unsatisfied with government policy, vandalism shouldn't be the way that you resort to in solving issue. When a country always engage in vandalism in resolving every issue or any little issues, the result will be that there will be less job. There will be less people that would like to invest in such country. Even those who belong to that country who want to safeguard their investment will likely go to a place that is less of vandalism when people of that country are displaying their disapprove or unhappy with government policy. So I'm going to encourage you as a Nigerian that let's stop engaging in vandalism. Let's stop, messing things up. There's a proper way you can show the government that you are not happy or you are not satisfied with their policy, rather than going and vandalize people's property. And most of these properties that have been vandalized, most of them are not even government properties. They belong to private own. Those are their hard-earned money putting in that business and it's being vandalized. When people from the outside world are looking into that, they will be scared to come in and invest. When there's no investment, you don't have job to do. So that's our own part to play as a people, that we should stop engaging in vandalism. Let's have a peaceful protest instead of vandalizing people's property, all right? And that's just by the way. So what is actually going on with the Naira? What's really the problem? Why do we have the shortage? Because I was looking at the news and I realized that many Nigerians are going through a lot right now. It's more or less like a compounding hardship pressed together, putting on Nigerian people. The first is that we have the hardship of gas, which we know as petrol, because most business actually depend on fuel, since Nigerians don't have a stable electricity. So we depend on fuel to run our business. When the price of fuel goes up, it affects every other thing in Nigeria. Every Nigerian can testify to that. So that's one thing Nigerian is facing when the central bank governor deemed within himself, the almighty Emefiele, believe that this is the right time to change Naira notes, which I see nothing wrong with. Is within their, it's within their right to do that. But is this the right time to do it? Some will argue that there is no right time and there is no wrong time. If things have to be get done, they have to be get done. And I understand that. But election is coming in like less than a month. People are really, going through hardship. Compound with this now, that time frame is extremely short. If we have to compare it in proportion with the size of Nigerian population. This Naira note issue that is really scarce now, that even people I know have to buy Naira with money. So if you need Naira now, you have to access it with money. Probably if you are taking 10,000 Naira, you pay 2,000 Naira to get it. People now capitalize on the scarcity of Naira and see a way of doing business with it. That's wrong money. That's wrong. It's totally wrong on all levels. That is totally wrong. And I don't see why any Nigerian will do that in this time of trouble, while people are really struggling, and you see that this is a way for you to make money and making life even harder for people. It's so sad that this is going on in Nigeria, that people can't access their money. Is there any reason why any country will feel like, okay, I need to change my money? Yes, there's a lot of things why countries do that. And first reason is that if there's a lot of hyperinflation, yes, they do that just to control the money in circulation. Another reason why countries do that is just because if there's too much counterfeit notes in circulation, the way to control that is to print a new money and phase out the old one that has been counterfeited. And if there's a war going on or after war, country may feel like our note has been really devalued, let's change it. Probably another reason that they do change currency. But in the case of Nigeria, the reason the CBN governor gave is that they are trying to take in the old notes that people are stockpiling in their private abode. They say that they want to use it to curb corruption. They want to use it to stop the kidnapping that is going on, ransom, things like that. Their reasons actually are not actually addressed, because we've seen videos where all these terrorists and kidnappers are boasting of having the new notes. So on that level, as far as I'm concerned, that purpose has been defeated, because now terrorists, they have the Naira notes. I just want to encourage Nigerians that they should stop vandalism of bank properties, because when everything calms down, you're going to be the one at the receiving end of not having ATM to use, because those machines that you vandalize, they're going to replace them before you can use them. And if the bank took their time to replace it, it means that you will have less ATM machine to access your fund. So it's going to be lose-lose for everybody if we continue in vandalism every time we're not happy with government policy. All right? But it's just so sad that just one man, with the consent or the support of the president, they can make life miserable for the whole country. Just a decision of a man trying to say that it's my mandate to change the Naira, without looking at the consequence of who is going to receive the blow. Just because they want to flex their ego. They want to, like, okay, I have the right to do it. Yes, you have the right to do it, but are you looking at the impact of those in the village, those who don't have access to bank? Are you looking at the impact it's going to have on them? You are putting them at the risk of robbery. You are putting people's life in danger. And I'm going to give you this example of they are saying that, okay, because of ransom, we want to change the Naira note. So if a kidnapper is demanding for a cash in exchange for a kidnapped victim, do you think not having cash or change cash value will make any difference? They can care less, because they're not going to take transfer. They're not going to take anything than what they demand for. So if Emefiele is thinking that changing the Naira note will stop kidnapping or ransom, I don't see how that is going to stop it. Fine. Those money they have collected, you can forfeit the money. Fine, that can be forfeited, but it's not going to stop ransom collection, because they are holding people's life in hostage. And when they demand for cash, they want cash. And people are going to look for cash to get out their loved one. So, to me personally, that purpose is defeated. Now, my question to Emefiele before the implementation of this system is that, okay, we were trying to do cashless, that we should become a cashless society, which I don't see anything that is wrong. It's a good idea, it's a welcome idea. But Just because we have a new system does not mean we should trash the old system. I think the new system of cashless transaction should be phasing in a little bit gradually while we're doing that, and we should still be using the old system until everybody is used to it. You can't just bring this like right now and ditch the old system right away. The old system is supposed to be phasing away gradually while the new system is coming in gradually. They're supposed to complement each other, okay? Nigeria is not like the Western country. We have people that are, doing petty traders that they deal in cash. Even in Western world, we still have their old people that deal in cash, that they don't want cashless transfer, they don't want cashless. They still deal in cash. So if you are trying to emulate the Western country, you need to emulate and see how they're doing things. They don't just phase things out, like that. They give it time until everybody is used to the system. In Nigeria, everyone is not tech savvy. So what is the due diligence did Emefiele did, the central bank? Do they actually go out there and see if our banks are actually equipped? Are they ready for this? Have you give some kind of simulation to see how the bank can handle all this traffic that is coming in at once? Did Emefiele did his own due diligence by saying that, okay, if we're going to roll out cashless system, can our bank handle it? So if you have to look at why this is not working in the first place, is that do we have enough people in the tech industry in Nigeria that can be at back end handle all these situations? When system fails, how quickly do bank get it rectified? How is the internet speed in Nigeria? How is everything? These are things that are working together to make a seamless transaction be smoothful. Nigerian is not fully ready for cashless transaction. Nigerian is not fully ready. All right, we need to understand that. But it's a welcome idea that we can incorporate into our system, and people get used to it over time. And that's why what I think Emefiele should consider. Okay. Now, when it comes to the introduction of this new Naira note, fine, it's good. You can introduce a new Naira note, but how do you do that? Nigeria is a population of 200 million and still growing. You don't expect 200 million people to just come within that short time of 2 months to kind of bring whatever they have and, in an exchange for a new note. The bank is going to be overwhelmed. There's going to be chaos. And I want to believe that people in position like Emefiele don't always come down to peoples in the village. They don't come down to their level when they are implementing some kind of their policy. But they quickly forgot that this policy that we're bringing out is not going to be for us alone. We have millions of people in Nigeria that are going to be using it. Are they ready for it? How do we approach them? How do we educate them on how we use it? These are the things I believe Emefiele should have been, should have done, do their research, and say that, okay, for the old cash to come in, how many months is it going to take us? And my suggestion would be that give people between the period of at least 2 years or maybe 3 years. And what I mean is that if you're going to take old note out of circulation without creating this chaos that we're seeing right now, should be facing in the new note into the society while taking out the old one gradually. If you go to a Western country today, you're still going to see some of their old notes in circulation. But when that money gets to banks, they will not release it out again. And that's the kind of system I think we should have implemented to make this swap or exchange of old note to new note be seamless and smoothful, and it's going to be painless. And this is my opinion. The old note should still remain legal tender until it gets to the bank. Any old note that gets to the bank, go back to central bank, and they will not release it out into the circulation. new note gets released, any old note that is deposited, they hold on to it. And this will make life easy for every Nigerian. This will make, like, there will be no haste. There will be no all this stampede. People will not be anxious that they're going to lose their money. Just like we see now. A 10,000 Naira in Nigeria now only worth 8,000. Just because of the time frame central bank governor give people to bring in their old cash. That's not ideal. It's not logical. To me personally, it's not human. Because people in the village don't have access to banks. If I happen to be in Mayfield today, what I would do is to stop the deadline time. Let the old note remain legal tender so that people can bring it when they are making deposit. Any money coming out of ATM machine will be new note. An old note going to bank never get to come out again. I think if they look into that way, probably Nigeria won't have been going through this struggle of buying Naira with money, to the point that now Nigerian Naira has become a scarcity commodity. That is not fair to the people. Now, this is where I want to address Nigerians. If you are going through this struggle right now, my question to you is that this struggle of shortage of Naira, do you think politicians are going through it right now? Their wives, their children, do you think they are going through this struggle? It's just a question. I don't know if they are going through it or not. I just threw the question to you, all right? So, for those of you that are not happy with the situation of Nigeria right now, the shortage of Naira, shortage of fuel, and all other things, scarcity of food, hike in food price, and you are not happy with what is going on, it just makes me remember that anyone that is not in support of Obi's candidacy, you see Obedient attacking them, and some people are not happy, which I understand. To be sincere, it's your fundamental human right to choose your candidate who you want to vote for, right? But reason why you think how aggressive the Obedient are, which I'm not part of, I'm not in support of any candidate right now, except any candidate that's never been a politician before. I will never be your fans. If you're a politician in Nigeria, I won't be your fans, because if you're there for 4 years and we feel no impact of yours, then what's the point? But what I'm trying to say is that people are really hungry, the Obedient and hungry, because they believe if you make another wrong choice again, thinking that you are exercising your right. Go back to 2015 when the Jagaban of Lagos brought upon us this calamity of Buhari. The promise is that when so country has a problem, who saved them? The general. When blah 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 has a problem, who saved them? The general. Now Nigeria is in crisis. Who do we bring to save us? The general. General Muhammadu Buhari is going to save Nigeria. General Muhammadu Buhari is going to whatever. This is the campaign Tinubu was pushing then, that Buhari is the answer to Nigerian problem. But there's a lot of Nigerians who says this man will only take us back to another 30 years of poverty. Some Nigerians believe that Buhari is the answer. Those who vote Buhari and those who didn't vote Buhari in, it's going to be a collective, agony. Everybody is feeling the pain. Everybody is feeling the heat. Just because you are APC and you vote Buhari will not make you buy a Congo of Gari less than PDP or any other party. So if you see the Obedient bashing people just because they believe they are supporting all old politicians that have brought Nigerian down to our knees, this is why you see them with that kind of attack. Because they believe, fine, your vote is your right. But if you vote wrong again, everybody suffers the consequence. Sometimes I come to this realization that Nigerians just like this kind of lifestyle that they vote wrong people into power, they go home and cry. Yes, every 4 years, Nigerians will come out, they vote the wrong person in power, and they will go home and cry, the economy is bad, this and that. Who put them in power? You vote them in power. Why are you now crying the economy is bad? When you have a choice, you have choices of people lining up, but they are not popular. They are not paying you 10,000. They are not paying you 5,000. They are not buying your vote. Please, if you say your vote, don't cry. Just go and get water and drink. If you continue to vote wrong people in power, you're going to continue going back home and cry about the worst economy Nigeria is going to be facing. With our debt ratio now, with our economy, we are not producing. It's going to take years to rebuild Nigeria because Nigeria is already like down. If anyone is coming in now, I don't know the miracle they want to perform to make Nigeria better. But if you ask me what can be done, what I think can be done if you want to revive Nigeria will be that if you're choosing a candidate, let your question be centered on, are you going to do restructuring? If Nigeria is not restructured, don't expect any miracle. If our constitution is not changed, don't expect any miracle. If you want to stop fuel scarcity, if you don't want to be going through this Naira shortage again, I believe this February, if you're going to vote, you know how to vote. But if you think you still want to be doing things the old way, don't expect things to change. I hope this my little message will change your mind, because the situation we are going through right now is not just by government alone. It's our handling. We bring this calamity upon ourselves, and if you want to take it away, we take it away by ourselves. God is not doing that for us. We have the power to take this calamity away. We have the power to demand for a good governance. But if you want that to stop, look for those who you believe can make Nigeria right. And you can just continue your old way and go back home and cry about the economy. If you make sense with this my video, just give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish to, share the video so that others can see it. Before the election time comes, I would like most people, Nigerians, to see this video and think that if you want a better country, it takes sacrifice. Even in Western world, people have to sacrifice to get a better country. You need to stop that idea of the Bokosebe. You must sacrifice collecting money from politicians if you want a better country. Or you can continue to sell your vote. It's up to you, all right? So that's going to be my piece on this one. Until next time, guys, stay blessed, remain blessed. God bless Nigeria. God bless the people of Nigeria. Bye-bye.